Hey, I'm Alan Brito from Blender 3D Architect, and welcome to this tutorial about the MeasureItArc. I guess this is a series now. I already created lots of different tutorials about this add-on because it's a really useful for anyone working with architecture or design. In Blender, it will give you the ability to add dimension lines, leaders, create styles. I already explained how you can render your projects, your drawings, and mix your dimension lines with your shapes, so you can create a raster file, something like a PNG, using the compositor, using the Blender compositor to make this blend. Now it's time to export your drawings as a vector, as an SVG, so you can edit and create presentations in Inkscape or set a scale for your drawings. Whenever the reason is exporting your drawings as a vector, it's the best option, or it's the most important resource for anyone working with architecture or design. So let me walk you through the process, what you have to do to export your drawings as a vector. First thing I'll need here is to enable my show hide the elements from the MeasureItArc. I have just two simple walls. Press the tab button and I will select these two vertices and create a dimension. Make sure you are on the correct plane. I'm using the X and Y plane. I'll be creating an aligned dimension. And in case you missed my previous tutorials, I will leave a card here on the video so you can watch my first tutorial where I explain where to download and how to install the MeasureItArc, because it's not part of the Blender official extensions repository. And if you don't want to miss any future tutorials, subscribe to the channel. So I have two dimensions now, and I can create a style for them. Let me open here my scene properties, scroll down and look for styles. And if I press this plus button, I can create a style for my dimensions. Hit OK. And I want to make just a simple change here. Change the color of your dimension styles, or of your dimensions, to green. And it didn't update because I have to connect this dimension style here to both dimensions. So select the wall object, open your object tab and look for your dimensions. And if you click on this chain icon, it will connect with a dimension. I just have one, so it already got selected. And you can see that both dimension lines, they became green. We get back here to the scene, just make some small changes. Line weight, let's use 45. View plane, let me make sure I only create this on the X and Y plane, and I will increase arrow size. And the font size, let's use something like 12 or something smaller, 10. And I guess this is it. We can start exporting our drawing as a vector. One important thing about the process, to export your drawings as a vector, you have to open here the output and you will see an option for a MeasureItArc vector. It will save your file as an SVG, but to do this, we need a camera, and you have to save. I strongly advise you to save your Blender file in a folder, so you can save your SVG files on the same folder. So let me create the camera first. Control A, camera. I'm in top view, so I'll press Control Alt 0 to align the camera. And since I'll be exporting a technical drawing, this camera, I will change the type of the camera to orthographic, and we can adjust the framing with the orthographic scale. Now we are ready to export. Let me just show you where I saved this file. If I go into File, Save As, you can see here that I saved this file as plan2.blend, and this is the folder. And I'll be using, let me save this, and if I open here my output, I'll be using a // so it means it will save my SVG files on the same folder, in a folder called renders. The MeasureItArc will create a folder on the same location where you set your output called renders, and your SVGs will be inside that folder. So if I press this button here, MeasureItArc vector, it will create the SVG file. You can see notification at the bottom of your interface. So we can try to open that file. And if I bring that folder here, you can see that I have my blend2.blend and renders, and inside we have an SVG file. Let me open it. It will go straight to Inkscape. And here we have it. 2-dimensional lines from the MeasureItArc, but there is something missing, or walls. Where are the walls? To create the walls here, we need a line style with the MeasureItArc. So let me go back to Blender and open here my styles on the scene tab. Scroll down here, styles, and if I press this plus button, you will see that we can create a style for lines. Hit OK. I'll be using a black color. Let me select here my line style and line weight. I'm using 0.45 for the dimension lines. Let's try 1.25. You can change this later in Inkscape because it's a vector, so it's quite easy to change the line style in case you need it. And we can try to apply this line style 1 to the wall. Select the wall object, and here on the MeasureItArc you will see a section called Add Lines, and select the style that you need and create a dynamic line group. Press this button with the wall selected, and it will be associated with your object. Now, if I open here the output properties and press the MeasureItArc vector again, it will update that file. Let's get back to that folder. And here's the folder again. I can try to open the file. And here's what we get. Our wall is now here with the dimension lines from the MeasureItArc. And one thing that you will notice, let me just minimize this drawing to get back to Blender. One thing that you will notice here is that the scale of your text in each one of the dimensions, it's quite different to what we have here on the 3D viewport, so to what we get in the SVG. So you have to make changes on your styles to make adaptations from your from what you get in Blender and the output as an SVG. This is the basic workflow. You can repeat. You need more styles, more line groups to create a more complex drawing, but this is the basics. I hope you like it. If you think this tutorial is useful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future tutorials. And don't forget to check the learning resource from Blender 3D Architect. I will leave a link in the description. My latest workshop, Blender 4.2, precise modeling for architecture, engineering, and 3D printing, and my books as well. Any learning resource that you get from Blender 3D Architect will be supporting my work here on the channel. See you next time. Bye.